Welcome back, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 10, Season Finale Recap. This one starts at Kanan's place where Jukebox has just told Kanan what he found out about Crystal and where they found her body. He's overcome with emotion and tears up the place as an older Kanan narrates, explaining in this game you can't show emotion, you can't show you're sad, you can't show that you're happy because emotions make you a mark, make you weak in the streets. And this is pretty much talking about younger Kanan, the Kanan you see now on your screen. He's being led by emotions for the past 2 seasons, and it's made him a mark. It's made him easy to manipulate. So overwhelmed he's crying in Jukebox's arms. So Kanan, who has the reasoning capabilities of one of those green doodle flies, tells Jukebox that Rock took out Famous because Snaps and Pops said so, and that he believes that Rock took out Crystal also. But Jukebox doesn't buy it, warning him against Snaps and Pops and the angles they might have. But Kanan says, I know my mother better than anybody, even you. Then we have this scene, a continuation from last episode where Lou and Rock went to see Unique at the tailor shop.
You don't want to drag family into it.
Once she says that, Unique turns around and goes on a tirade of nasty insults, including her and Lou. His insults included telling Lou that he used to be intimate with his sister and gave details. Then he started to berate Lou and went on about his problem with alcohol.
We both got family, Nick. If mine's fair game, so is yours.
She tries to warn him that his family could come into play if he keeps talking to Kanan. But he said he's still going to bring her world crashing down around her. She tells him you've been warned.
You been warned, nigga?
They leave with Rock telling Lou that he's got to find out where Unique's girl and son are staying. Lou's looking happy because he gets to kidnap somebody. Marvin goes to Stefano and tries to make amends for what happened with Early Tyler. But it falls on deaf ears and Stefano says he's not working with him or his sister ever again. Marvin begs Stefano to reconsider, but he sends him on his way. Meanwhile, Lou is watching Panessa's house and he sees one of Unique's guys pick up Panessa's mother to take her to the doctor. He follows them to the outpatient facility where he sees Panessa come outside to escort her mother in. And Kanan is at Grandma Joyce's gravesite complaining about his mother, Rock. He tells her that she's going to have to forgive him for what he's about to do next. Then we have Rock and Irwin. Irwin owns all the restaurants that Rock is pushing her stuff out of. And in what I believe to be the best scene in this episode, Irwin tells Rock about herself. No one's spoken to Rock like this before and made her actually have to take a look at who she is.
I don't want to be associated with you.
Irwin says he doesn't want to work with her anymore. She tries to reason with him and tells him she'll increase security. But when that approach doesn't work, and Irwin tells her that he doesn't care what she does to him, she then threatens his family. But Irwin tells her that he's closed all his restaurants and sent all his family back to China, and it's just him left. He then goes on to tell her a story about a monster in Chinese mythology called Wundun, a blind, deaf, faceless demon. It's pure evil, corrupting and polluting everything that it touches. But what's most scary about Wundun is not what it does, but that it can't see itself. It doesn't know it's a monster, just like you. Lou, still waiting at the outpatient facility, finally sees Panessa come out with her mother. Panessa gets in her car and Lou follows her home. Detective Garcia presses Jukebox again at the pizza shop and tells her that a black woman was seen leaving the apartment building that Crystal was killed. And that makes Jukebox a person of interest because she's a black woman. He knows she didn't do it, but he's trying to rattle her cage. But this leaves Jukebox thinking that Rock might be guilty. Kanan goes back to Snaps and Pops to find out if they know anything that happened to Crystal. They want to know what he's doing about the information that they gave him that Rock is the one that took out Famous.
Right now, all I want to know is what happened to Crystal.
They tell him they don't know anything, but they also tell him that he should work with Unique. Also, they want to introduce him to their nephew that just relocated to Queens from Brooklyn. Unique goes out to New Jersey to see Teresa to let her know that Phil isn't doing anything to avenge her husband. As she cries, she says she's going to talk to Phil and talk some sense into him. We've also found Early. He's been hiding in a hotel room. There's a knock at the door and it's his boy bringing him some food, but once he opens the door, Marvin pops in, and then he pops them. Pew, pew, pew.
I know it's gotta be important.
Jukebox calls Rock to meet her at the diner to talk about Kanan. Rock wants to know if Kanan is still saying that she put down Famous. Then Rock says to Juke, I know you don't believe that nonsense. But Jukebox says she doesn't know anything anymore. But Rock tells her she can understand Kanan having doubts, but not her, because they always talk to each other and tell each other the truth. Then Jukebox asks what you know about what happened to Crystal. Rock, trying to show patience with Jukebox, tells her, I told both of you that she came over my house to talk about Kanan and then she left for the bus station. But it sets Rock off when Jukebox says you were the last person to see her alive. But Rock warns her to watch what she's saying to her because she's not a kid anymore, and that she's going to have to stand behind everything that's coming out of her mouth. But Jukebox goes on to say what Kanan said to her. She told Rock that she knows her better than anybody. When Rock tells Jukebox that she's just like her father, jumping into things without knowing where she's gonna land, Jukebox says, "I'd rather be like him than you." Stefano Marchetti and Phil Russo have a private meeting at a park. This is where we find out that Phil Russo asked Stefano to help him take out Sal Vaselli, and that they're acting like they're at war to hide that very fact. Stefano tells Phil that setting up shop in Queens is an insult, and that it might be time for his family to know what really happened to Sal. And that doesn't go over well with Phil Russo. So Phil Russo tells Stefano he's gonna pull his guys out of Queens and everything will be okay. And when he goes in for a hug, he puts a knife in him and sets him on the bench. Lou and Kanan are arguing about why Lou is back working with Rock, while Lou is trying to explain to Kanan about family and about being men and taking responsibility for your actions. And he tells Kanan that hearing that he's working with Neek is really messed up.
She killed famous Uncle Lou.
Lou doesn't believe that and still tries to explain to Kanan about how men take responsibility for their actions. He then goes on to explain that Grandma Joyce wanted him and Marvin to put her out of her misery, to put a needle in her arm and end her pain, but they couldn't do it because all they were thinking about is themselves and how it would make them feel. But he said the one that did take the weight of that, the one who did help out Grandma Joyce, him and Marvin, for all of them, was his mother. He tells Kanan that his mother is more of a man than anybody he knows. Rock is telling Marvin that without Stefano, the whole business is messed up. Without knowing that Stefano's been knifed up, he says he'll go talk to Stefano and maybe he can get him back in the fold. But that sets her off and she goes on to tell Marvin how much she can't trust him because of all the private dealings he's been doing with Stefano behind her back. She tells him he can't keep a story straight because he's crooked. Always has been, always will be.
Fuck this. And fuck you.
That hurt. She may have lost him.
Figure we were in the neighborhood, might as well do this here and now.
Kanan meets Snap and Pop on the street for an introduction with their nephew, but Kanan's still asking if they know anything about what happened to Crystal. They tell him they don't know anything, but they're still shaking the trees. It reminds me of Get Rich or Die Trying when 50 Cent's character kept asking the dude that killed his mother, Majestic, about if he has any information on who killed his mother. Snaps and Pop's nephew Branford shows up and they do the introduction.
Only these old heads call me Branford. Around the way on the block, niggas call me Breeze.
They thumb wrestle for a minute and then Breeze asks Snaps what's up with Unique. But Snaps tells him we'll only need him for the short term. Plot thickens.
Met up with Rock yesterday.
Yeah, how'd that go?
She tells Marvin she was asking Rock about Crystal and Famous. Marvin says she has nothing to do with that. He would know if she did. Unique goes to Phil Russo and lets him know that he has to do something or else he's going to lose respect in the streets. Phil tells him to do whatever he wants, and he lets him know that he tried to take out Stefano, but he doesn't know if he survived or not. And if he did, it's going to be an all-out war. Rock meets with Lou to let him know that they don't have Stefano anymore, and that they're going to have to hit first and hit fast. Then she tells Lou to take him out at the knees, which means go get Panessa and the boy. As Kanan's getting out of his car, Detective Garcia walks up and lets him know that they need to speak about Crystal Bradley. And they don't show the conversation, but you can be sure he's going to tell Kanan about the black woman that was seen leaving the apartment. Meanwhile, Marvin is watching Amber get placed in her new foster home. That's a weird-looking girl. Now that Unique has the green light from Phil Russo, he's gearing up for war with Rock. But what he doesn't know is that Jerome and Panessa are about to be taken by Lou and B. Rilla.
Let's go, nigga.
They throw Panessa and Jerome in the car and drive off. Kanan is with Jukebox telling her what Detective Garcia told him.
You don't know that it was Rock, Kanan.
But Kanan isn't trying to hear anything Jukebox is saying, and he says, I know it was her. Kanan grabs a weapon and goes for the door. She tries to stop him from leaving.
You ain't with me, you against me.
Jukebox can't believe he's acting like this. She immediately jumps on the phone to call somebody. Meanwhile, Unique's crew is firebombing empty restaurants. And Marvin pulls up to a gas station and gets caught in a drive-by, but he doesn't get hurt. Rock is being notified that Unique is destroying restaurants and Stefano's fish store. That's when Kanan walks in.
Why did you kill her?
Kanan shows up to ask her why she took out Crystal. He says the police said you did it. But when she asks Kanan, why would I do anything to Crystal? He says because you don't want anybody around me but you. He says he's tired of making excuses for her, and he's gonna do what he should have done a long time ago. He aims at her, she closes her eyes, the screen goes black, and you hear a gunshot.
Get her. Player, I mean. Games that you playing, I seen. The chance that I'm taking, I mean. These things that I'm saying, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I really need. I don't even know if you feeling me.